Beck and welcome to my October TBR. A lot of people usually pick really spooky books for October because of Halloween, but I don't read a lot of spooky stuff, I don't read a lot of Halloween stuff, so this is just a regular TBR video for me, to be honest, and I'm going to start with 3 new releases that are coming out in October that I have pre-ordered and I'm super excited about. The first one of those new releases is Saga by Brian K. Vaughan, illustrated by Fiona Staples. This has been a series of graphic novels that are sci-fi fantasy and they have been on hiatus for a little while, but now we've finally got volume 10 releasing in that paperback version. So I want to not only read the 10th volume, but I want to reread volumes 1 to 9. So I'm hoping that that boosts my overall reading goal, which I'm already ahead of. I've read, as of filming this, 52 books of my 50 reading goal. So I just want to boost that up as close as possible to 60. So Saga is definitely something that I'm keen to continue. It's definitely adult, so if you are worried about explicit themes and sexual proclivity, I would avoid Saga, but I think it is absolutely and utterly brilliant in terms of its character building, its storytelling, and its world building as well. There's lots of different alien races, it's very varied, there are multiple POVs, and Hazel is the daughter of these 2 soldiers from both sides of a war between a planet and a moon, and so you get Hazel's perspective telling you the story as it's happening and almost mildly reflective as well, so you get really effective foreshadowing, which makes it really riveting. So naturally I'm super excited to continue that. And then the sequel that I also want to continue, that's a new release for October, is The Atlas Paradox, which is a dark academia fantasy series, and I read the first one a couple of months ago, so I'm eager to continue a series and also continue a series in the same year. Sometimes I continue series and it would be years down the track, so I'm happy with myself that I'm keeping on board of reading series and keeping up to date with them. And then another series, and also the last new release on this video, is Law Olympus. So volume 3 is coming out and I've pre-ordered it for October, but none of these I actually know the specific release date in October, so even though I do want to read all of them, I might not end up getting to them until like late October, early November, but we'll see how things fall. So Law Olympus is a Hades and Persephone retelling. It deals with the Olympian gods but in modern day in some aspects, and there's social media and technology, and Persephone, the main character, is very much trying to figure herself out, learn where she belongs in the world, and understand her place and what she wants to strive for, because there are a lot of mixed messages. She's been cut off from society by her mother Demeter, so she wants to kind of make a name for herself and just figure out who she is and who she can trust. So I really like it. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have pre-ordered it. I've given the first 2 volumes, I think, 5 stars. So that's another one that I'm really looking forward to. And then as for other stuff on my TBR, this is my TBR card. So everything on this I have not read. So I'm maybe just going to pick and choose from this TBR card because there are a few leftovers from September that I didn't get to, namely Snow Crash and Shadow of the Gods, 2 of Daniel Green's favourites that I said that I would read and I haven't got to yet. And then I've also got on here at the top Her Majesty's Royal Coven and Fevered Star, which is the sequel to Black Sun. But I don't like dwelling too much on things that I had on my TBR for the previous month, because my TBR is kind of just a guide for me. I like having a rough guide and then also space to read for my mood, because if I don't leave myself space to read for my mood, I get bogged down or I put off reading things. So I do want to get to these. I genuinely am quite excited for them, but at the same time I don't want to force myself to read anything. Given that I'm in a very echoey room right now, I do apologise. We are painting our house, and so we're doing a lot of physical labour off camera, and because we've got a lot of physical labour going on and we're in transit between my parents, my partner's parents, and here, we don't often know where we're going to be sleeping, where we're going to be waking up, and what we're going to be working on. So coordinating reading in amongst all of that and vlogging as well can be hard to keep track of and maintain. So I had full intention to read these, but I just didn't get around to them in September. So are they on my October TBR? Tentatively, I'm aware of them, and it's easy to segregate my physical TBR from all of my other books because I haven't had the chance to move everything yet, because we just can't, because we need to paint. So in that sense, I know what is on my physical TBR. It's not like it's blended in and I've forgotten about it entirely. So I would like to get to these as well, but I also don't think I will, given that they're not very short, because I've been reading the Ruin of Kings, Chaos of Dragons series by Jen Lyons. And while I adore them and they're really long, about 600-700 pages long, I feel like I get bogged down reading them because they're so long even though I'm enjoying them. So I'm reluctant to pick up longer books on my TBR because I feel like it's just going to take me a long time to get to them. Then finally, I am going to shame myself because Hero of Ages didn't get touched and I want to do my Mistborn reread. But at this point, I'm thinking, will I actually make time or have time to reread Mistborn, Aloe of Law, Shadows of Self and Bands of Mourning and Secret History, maybe, before the next book in Era 2 comes out in November. Will I have time? Probably not. But if I go into it and I haven't refreshed my memory, I don't really mind too much because I do generally want to reread these anyway. So I might end up just picking up the new release and then rereading the rest of the books either end of this year, early next year, and then again rereading the new release. So it all ties itself together. Who knows what I'm going to do at this point because I keep making plans and then it doesn't happen. So I'm thinking maybe I should put a really short book onto my TBR just to feel like I am exceeding my expectations. I know I've got Saga on here, so I'm going to read a bunch more things anyway, but this book I recently acquired. It hasn't been in a book haul yet, although I did mention it in my TBR cart video, and that is Volume 1 of Fence. And I know that this is queer positive and it's about fencing. That's all I know aside from the fact that there are 4 or 5 volumes out, maybe 6. I'm pretty sure there's 5 though. And so because it's a shorter graphic novel series, I think that I could get into it if I enjoy the setup in this volume. So I've heard that the first volume is mostly set up, but if I like what it's doing, I will consider continuing. So that is my entire TBR for October. I do apologize that I don't have a lot of things to hold up here because some of them obviously are new releases and I haven't physically acquired them yet. And then also I have a bunch of books in different places. So you're gonna have to make do with pictures for a little while, but at least I have this to hold up. But if you've got a whole bunch of stuff on your October TBR, do let me know. I would love to know how many things you plan on reading, but thank you so much for watching this video. I'll come chat to you down in the comments below. Consider subscribing to support me and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.